You like bicycles? Don't worry. Look here.
Well, this is pretty bad.
No shit, no problem at all. Let me present
the one and only.
Hello and welcome to my channel once again. Last week I guess you saw this. I showed you the frame of my winter bike, or I should say I showed you my winter bike and then what I did with it. So today is actually just the next day, and I've got some time and I wanted to continue on cleaning off the frame. And it's a little bit on the cool side today, but if it warms up a little more, I might actually be able to put some primer on. I don't know, it's kind of windy. I don't know if you can hear that. The wind is a problem too, because more of my primer is gonna go into the neighbor's yard and all over the grass than on my frame, so I'm probably gonna wait with that.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm gonna clean up the frame to make it just perfect.
Yes, perfect.
So I believe one way to do this is actually to burn off some of the hard to reach places, because once that paint is actually burned, then I don't think it's going to be as hard to take off as if it's still intact. I should be able to burn this off completely. It's just the rust I'm going to have to get rid of. But there's still paint left on there, see? And I'm hoping that it's just going to burn off. Maybe I'm too optimistic. It doesn't seem to do anything. Well, the spot where I torched it earlier, it is actually much easier to process now. Mind you, I could still not do it very well while holding the camera. I'm just filming this so that you have an idea of what's going on here. See, I definitely need both my hands, one to support this frame, the other to sand. So I'm just showing you. See, I scraped this off with a screwdriver before, and now there isn't any paint left. It's just a little rusty. See, it comes nice and clean. Now, the one thing that I realized just a few minutes ago, I still have to strip the whole fork. So there you go. There's always something else. Always more work. Okay, here's the fork. So what I've done here, I used some kind of heirloom pure paint stripper that is supposed to be easy, spray on, non-toxic, low odor. I'm just supposed to spray on, generous coating. Let stand until finish. Softens. Time may vary. Remove with the scraper, steel wool, or stiff bristle brush. Blah blah blah. Sounds simple enough, eh? We'll see. Alright, well, I apologize. I should have shown how exactly this all came off, but you know, when you have rubber gloves on and use both hands to handle this, then it's kind of hard. Now all I need is a day where there isn't so much wind outside and it's warm. We have a good weather forecast up until next week, kinda. So I'm hoping that by the weekend, when it's going to be in the 22-degree range here, I can paint this frame. I got these beautiful fenders yesterday. I'm hoping they will be compatible with my V-brakes and everything. There might have to be a little modification where the brakes go. Maybe that's part of the answer to keeping the bike cleaner in the winter. I also got a new crank set with chain wheels. 2 chain wheels here, they are steel. I don't mind that because they're probably more durable than aluminum alloy. And yeah, they look very nice and clean. I've got a non-matching left crank. However, it only looks non-matching. It's basically the same. It's just black and it says custom on it, custom A. That's fine. It's 165 mil. That's the same as the other ones. So yeah, for now I'm calling it quits for the day. I'm going for a bike ride with my beautiful Bianchi bike that is still a little bit on the dirty side, so maybe it needs a wash too, but yeah. Alright, we're just about ready to clean this off really good, this frame, and then I can apply the primer. Today is a good day for it. There's a little bit of a breeze, which is not ideal, but it is warm and it is October, so I'm not gonna mess with this. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this today because it's probably one of my last chances. So it's probably gonna have to wait till sometime middle of next week for the final coat of paint. And once the paint is done, well, the rest is really not so weather dependent. So this is the priority right now, is get the paint on that frame. The frame is clean. Well, I should say all the paint is removed, but what I'm doing now is I'm using brake cleaner to spray this down. It's not the greatest stuff to breathe, but we're outside. So we're just kind of cleaning off whatever grease or anything of that sort that might be on there. So now I am wiping it clean. I will also wipe it once again with alcohol. I'll flip this around. Repeat the process from the underside. Alright, I'm gonna do this enough to demonstrate what I'm doing. I'm gonna do the rest using both hands, a rag in one hand to hold the frame. I will not touch it anymore with my bare hands because even my bare hands have some kind of oil on them that could possibly prevent the primer from doing its job. Now, most important, when you're painting a frame, even though you may see on some paint cans, you'll say no primer required, please do yourself a favor, ignore that. Always use a primer because that is what makes your paint actually adhere to whatever you're painting. It's really important, especially when you're using your bike outside, you know. Also gotta make sure that the paint doesn't cover these brake bosses. The fork's ready to get painted. See, I covered all the stuff that can't be painted with masking tape. I'm gonna do the same thing for the bottom bracket over where the frame is already set up. I have to, now I'm touching it. Jeez. Okay, I'm using a Tremclad rust paint primer. Shake it really well. It says it's gonna dry within a few minutes or an hour to touch. 24 hours completely dry, and then you're supposed to wait 48 hours before recoating it, unless you want to recoat it after less than 1 hour, which I'm not going to do because, number one, I think that wouldn't allow me to prepare the primer surface properly, which I like to do with fine sandpaper and water. And number two, I don't have the final paint yet. I'm going to go shopping for that later. I am outside and it's generally breezy enough here to provide for ventilation, but I can smell the stuff, so I'm gonna go to my truck and I'm gonna grab a mask.
Is perfect. Perfect. Watches. Perfect.
This is done. Okay, just to show you what it looks like right now. The primer there is pretty much even, and this is a perfect day for it. It is actually in the 20-something degrees range. These things always get stuck to my shirt. I don't like these. I have to do a better job of maintaining my yard. Oh. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave that sit there for a while so this can dry really well, and then later on when I put that in the shed, I'll touch it with my shop towels. I'll find a spot for it where it could stay overnight and not touch anything, so the primer stays perfectly intact. And then in the coming days I will paint that to make sure that you're not going to miss that, because don't you want to see? You will probably be best advised to subscribe to my channel.
Of course, I will. So, cheers!
You won't regret it. And in the meantime, I've done another bike frame prior, and there's a whole video on that you can watch right now. It's gonna pop up on the screen in a few minutes or seconds. I'm hoping it's gonna help you if you're gonna do your own project.